Welcome, everybody. Today, we're talking about the pool service industry and why you should be in it. We're going to be going over how many pools there are in the country, the distribution of those, some of the great reasons why pool service is the best home service niche in 2025. We're going to be going over kind of some of the tools, some of the trade techniques, tips, what to expect, a little bit of everything. We're going to look at some competition amongst home service industries and see how does that look? What does the landscape look like? Is it easy to break into? First, please subscribe, comment, share, like. We're growing this channel organically, this community organically, and we hope you take a lot away from this. If you're already in the home service industry, please take a look at all the info below. You're actually going to learn something, I promise. We got lots of financial money math in there, lots of pool equipment info, lots of gallonage calculations, things like that. So, as well as great tips on how to hire, train, and get great staff in here. So lots of different elements in here, more being added every day. We're super happy to have you on with us. And so let's dive in. So how many pools are there? So almost 11 million residential swimming pools in the United States as of today. I think it was like 10.5, 10.7, something along those lines in the most recent data I was able to find. Huge amount of residential swimming pools in the country. Where are they distributed, right? So throughout the United States, we'll say the southern kind of California to Florida, and then up and down the East Coast, you find the predominant majority. But you will have a lot of pools sprinkled in within like the Midwest and down throughout the country. Not as many in like, maybe the North Dakota, super cold climates, not as much density there, but throughout the majority of the country, you're going to find a good amount of pools up and down the coast and throughout the southern United States. So lots of opportunity throughout the many, many, many states, huge pool markets out there. Arizona, Florida, New York, New Jersey, uh, Nevada, California, Georgia, Carolinas, just tons of opportunity out there. So, um, yeah, let's dive into it. So, what does pool service look like? So, when we say pool service, we're talking about weekly cleaning residential swimming pools. Now, there may be some commercial aspects to it. If you're really knowledgeable, you can branch out to commercial as well, like larger apartment complexes, YMCA's, any facility with a swimming pool, colleges, universities, things like that. Whoever and anybody that you can get. However, for the most part, when we say swimming pool service, we're referring to residential, right? So one house, maybe two, three homes that might share a pool, something like that. Majority is single family with pool. Now, in that, it's a weekly service, and for the most part, you're responsible for cleaning, maintaining chemical count, doing an overview of equipment typically, right? So you just want to make sure nothing's leaking, the water level's good, kind of the normal things are functioning how they should, right? Swimming pool. And the tenants or the owners are relying on you to give them a functional swimming pool, right? Super simple. And so within that, they expect you back every week. That's the beautiful part about this business. So it's a recurring residual income type of business. It grows every time you get a new account, they're expecting you back. And that's the huge part about this is it's a recurring revenue business. They expect you back. And on top of that, you have additional revenue drivers like repairs, new installs, and filter cleans, right? So you have all of these opportunities where some of the other trades don't, right? When you do a roof, they don't expect you back the following month or the following week, right? And if they did, that's a problem. Maybe a tornado hit or something. I don't know, but it's not common. They do make a lot more money in one go. That's definitely true. However, ours is a velocity stack type of thought process, right? So the faster you go and the bigger you build it, the more it's worth. So that's the idea behind recurring home service based business. Now, the home service based businesses have been gaining a lot of steam and they're a very popular niche. Especially with a lot of the older crowd retiring and just getting out of the business, right? So you have tons of people in these trades, especially pool service, that are late 40s to late 60s and still in the field sometimes even. So you do get occasions where people are retiring and things like that. It's an easy industry to get into. We have all the info inside of our courses here and inside of this channel. So with this community, you can develop the skill sets needed to break into the business. It is not super difficult. And, learning the business is different than mastering the business, right? So over time, you'll master the craft, you'll master the business part of it, you'll get to know everything about it. But getting in is pretty straightforward, right? So you just need some basic tools, uh, brushes, poles, uh, vacuums, kits, chemicals, super simple over the counter stuff. And you can get those by joining wholesale memberships at some of the bigger companies, PWP and Leslie's, things like that. You can get wholesale memberships to get these chemicals at decent prices, right? You would need to establish a company for that, but not a big deal. So, okay, so we established what it is, right? And how you can make money doing it. And so from there, let's talk about pool density a little bit. So you're going week to week, pool to pool, house to house. And where this business gets really interesting is when you can stack up those pools in one specific area as close to each other as possible. The closer you can get your routes together, the more pools you're going to do in any particular day and the higher revenue count. Less travel time, less vehicle usage, and more revenue, right? So density matters in this business. The closer everything is to each other, the better. So you have the more hot markets, like some of the ones we just talked about, Arizona, California, Nevada, Texas, Florida, all these markets, they got great pool density, and that's a big factor. So that can also be a revenue generator if you can do, or if technicians can do one or two more pools, or if you can do a couple more pools per day, that's a huge benefit, right? Times five technicians, 10 technicians, all of a sudden you guys are doing 50, 80, 100 more pools a day. It becomes a big deal. So you have pool density, you have the route element of it, you have the recurring element of it, the repairs, and now let's talk about kind of competition. What does that look like, right? Because you may say, Ed, okay, great, I can kind of learn how to clean a pool, but aren't there tons of competition? The answer is yes and no. So the skill sets are pretty low in terms of marketing and business sense in this industry. The number of people, normal amount of competition, especially for how many pools there are. All the pool guys are busy. It just depends on how fast they're growing and what they're doing. I mean, I call companies all the time, and half the time they don't even answer the phone, right? So if you're answering the phone, you put good marketing in place, you put good systems in place, and you really utilize what you got, like a great CRM system, like Pool Profits can definitely set you up with a great CRM system, great marketing as well, and you can actually be a really big player in any particular area very quickly if you just do the basics really well, good customer service, answer the phone, put these systems in place, run ads, you're there basically. Just brand everything and you're there. Um, Great, a lot of competition, but not really. They're not really competition. It's just like any other industry. You have a lot of the bigger companies. It's just bigger. They're just a lot more bigger companies in this industry, but not massive companies. So, like in plumbing, for example, you may have one company that controls 50% or 30% of an area. That doesn't typically happen with pool service. So you have, more fragmentation. So you may have a bunch of guys in one area doing between, let's say, 200 pools a week to 1,000 pools a week, right? So larger companies definitely have employees, definitely have technicians and stuff like that. But you may also have a dozen guys just doing it themselves, guy in a truck. And so you got a ton of stuff like, competitors like that as well. They're not really competitors because they're usually maxed out. They usually aren't even able to pick up the phone because they're so busy, right? So your competitors are more of these 200 to 1,000 level companies, and you can become one of those pretty quickly in this industry. And they gross tons of money between the recurring revenue element, the repairs, the one-time cleanings, things like that. You can easily sort over $1 million per year in revenue very easily at these levels. So it just easily can go over that, no problem with that type of scale, no problem. Also, that does depend on area, right? So how much the monthly charges will impact that, but absolutely, these larger companies are doing well over six, seven figures in revenue, so no problem there. And let's see, day in the life, what does it look like? So if you have a team, right, it's going to be, morning meetings, maybe check-ins, routing software, make sure everybody's on point, make sure if there's any repairs on deck, make sure those get handled. Any issues pop up, be quick to those. um, Marketing, answering calls. A lot of it's if you're managing a team and you're managing the inbound side, so you're answering the phone a lot, you're doing a lot of inbound marketing calls, you're doing a lot of that. So you're closing, you're distributing the workload, doing the accounting, billing, normal business stuff, right? If you're a single guy in the truck, you're going to be doing all that plus the work, right? So in the beginning, it's very tough, just like anything else, right? In the beginning, it's kind of a little tough, but as you get better, as you get busier, you more income generated, and you get to hire people, which is the fun part. It gets you to do your better talent, use your talent for where you can drive the most revenue and distribute the work that's lower skill set that you can hire out, right? Just like anything else. So I hope this was helpful. We're kind of just going overview here, 101. And I really think that a lot of you can get into this business and really capitalize on this. Get the systems in place, put some energy behind it, and dominate your industries, dominate your areas. You really can. And part of what we're trying to bring to the market is this elevated skill set. We want the industry to do better, to charge more, to bring value. So that's kind of where we come in, is we want to make sure that, everybody's doing well and the industry is elevated. We want people to talk about the pool service industry the way they talk about some of these other trades like HVAC and plumbing and roofing and so on and so forth. So because we do have a lot of technical equipment, pumps, filters, plumbing, electrical, so everything is in there. But I don't feel like it's gotten that level of uh, intrigue and interest and skill sets because of that. So anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know. Are you in the industry? Do you feel like you could be in the industry? How do you perceive this home service niche? So let us know. See you next time. Thank you.